Welcome back to Trial and Error Tactical. I'm Anthony.
I'm Brandon.
And today we're going to be doing our first prepping segment for our videos. We're kind of doing a double review today. We're going to be doing a sterno review, and also we're going to be doing a
SOS Emergency Food Ration case test. I've seen a few videos of these. There's not very many though, and it's all about people, living off them for a week or 2 weeks, or that's not really what these are for. These will go in your pack in case you get hungry, out on a scouting mission or out on the trail, depending on what you're doing. So it's not really something you're supposed to live off of for a long time. So we're just going to tell you if they taste like crap or not. But first, let's start with the sterno. So here we have a mini sterno can. And this is something me and Anthony use quite a bit. We like to camp, and we live in Florida, so a monsoon can start in 15 seconds and you have no idea it's coming. So it's handy to have these on you, because these will work even when wet. We've filled these up with water and they've still lit, and they've cooked breakfast for us. So we have here my little camp cup and a can of vegetable soup. So we're going to light this up, and while we're talking about the food rations, we're going to let our soup heat up, just to time how long it takes one of these sterno cans to cook your dinner in the wild. So I've just got a little stone area here. You can use sticks, logs, whatever. We're just at the house and we have concrete pretty readily available, so that's what we're using. You see it's got this disgusting like Barney snot on the inside, and that's your fuel. So we're just going to put that down in there.
And it's important that you get the ones with the gel fuel. They do have the ones with the liquid fuel. They're not going to be anywhere near as reliable in the wet conditions that we're talking about, out there camping and it just starts raining. And, these things are still going to work even when slightly wet. I'm not saying you can put them under water and work, but they'll cook you a meal if they absolutely had to.
And the thing about the liquid ones is they kind of make your food taste bad. We had the ingenious idea to make a biscuit out in the woods, and we were using a liquid one, and then the biscuit tasted like gasoline. So we prefer the gel ones. So I'm going to fill up my camp cup with the soup.
And one of the main reasons why we're doing this too is to show you guys that we're not gonna eat. We're not out there living off of MREs and living off of all those freeze dried. We're not about that. If you ever were to take a look, which I may show you in a future video, of what I actually prep as far as food goes, the majority of it is actually canned goods, because I'm not gonna want to eat a bunch of freeze dried nasty food that a lot of people are stocking up on right now and have never tasted in their life. It's really important when you are prepping to stock stuff that you're gonna eat, and cans don't cost a whole lot, and really you can stash them under anything. I mean, you can put a leaf of them underneath your bed, you can put them in your cupboards. People won't even know you're prepping. Just grab something that you're actually gonna eat.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and light the sterno can with a ferro rod. Now that's burning. The flame is very faint, so you won't be able to see it on camera. But I can put my hand down there and it's hot. It just singed my head out. So we're going to take the soup, put the lid on the soup, and put the soup right over our sterno can. And we'll come back to that after a few minutes and we'll tell you how it tastes. Alright, now we're waiting on that soup to heat up. We're going to talk to you about the SOS Emergency Food Rations. Now this is something me or Anthony neither have tried. He bought this little cheap Walmart SOS kit, and it had these in them. And you know, like I said, I'd heard of them, but I never tried them. So we thought we'd try them together. So there's a little pull tab up top. We're just going to open this up. And then you've got these pre-packaged bars inside. There's 6 of them. They look just like granola bars. So we're going to pop these apart. And like I said, they're all individually wrapped. So we don't mind opening it up because they're not going to go bad just because we open the main package. The main package is just holding them all together. So, Anthony, there's your food bar.
This just goes back to what I was saying about, you know, I'm trying this mainly, you know, we decided to make the video, but mainly I'm trying this because if it's going to be in my emergency kit, I want to know what it tastes like. I'm not just going to keep something in there and it doesn't taste very good.
It doesn't smell awful. I know this tastes, but I can't put my finger on it. It is dry. It'll be nice to have with some water. Yeah, it's basically compressed food powder, but it's not awful. I could eat one of these for dinner.
It really almost doesn't have any taste at all. It almost tastes like a really cheap, like Walmart brand cookie or something. Mm-hmm. It's not really that bad. These will definitely go in my back in my emergency kit because I'll eat these if I have to.
Each cookie has 410 calories. So this is going to make it to where you're not hungry. That's really what this is. This is bare minimum to sustain you. If you eat one of these 3 times a day, you're gonna do all right. You know, minimum amount of water, minimum amount of food. This is the way to go. It's not horrible. I wouldn't. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to live off these things for a month. I'm sure I'd get sick. But, you know, if I was out and I got stuck somewhere, it'd be nice to have a couple of these in the pack just to fight off the hunger. You know, it gives you something to chew on, gives you something to do with your hands. It's not awful.
Another good thing is they're quick. You know, you're out there in the woods, you need something to eat. And, you know, you see on a lot of survival shows where the guys will set their little snare traps and a couple hours later, bam, they got something. That doesn't always happen.
No, sometimes you don't get that lucky. And another thing, you don't have to cook these. I mean, that's one thing we like about the Sterno can is, you know, we have multiple bug out plans depending on what happens. One of them involves the national forest right up the road from us. You know, like I said, we go camping a lot. We're preparing to live out there if we have to. And if you don't want people finding you, you don't need to start a big fire just to cook a can of soup. These are smokeless. They're not going to smoke. They don't smell that bad unless you're sitting right next to them. Let's face it, they're burning fuel. But there's zero smoke. The flame is you're hardly able to see it sitting next to it. So it's not something somebody's going to be able to find. I'm going to put my food bar down so I can stir our soup. Anthony, hand me a spoon. Oh yeah, it's coming along nicely.
And you can see we've only had this on here for a few minutes and already, I mean, it really does a really good job. And like Brandon mentioned, you know, it's not giving yourself away. You're not letting, you know, everybody know where you are. But it's not just that either. You're not letting predators know where you are. Because let's face it, if you're out there in the woods, you know, they smell your soup cooking and you never know. Bear, whatever, mountain lion.
Yeah, last thing you need is a mountain lion coming to dinner.
You never know.
You're going to have a bad day. The soup's coming along nicely. The bottom layer is starting to boil, but the top is still a little cool because we've got the lid on it, and it's pretty windy out. It's actually a nice day for it to be Florida. So, what do you think on a scale of 1 to 10? How okay are these?
To be honest, I'm going to go ahead and give these an 8. Like I said, they're really not, they don't leave a nasty aftertaste, and they're like eating a plain, just vanilla, like I said, like a nasty cookie pretty much.
Kind of like a really thick graham cracker, just without the honey flavoring.
And that's another thing too. I mean, you know, I know me and Brandon both like to carry some honey with us in our in our kit. You can put a little honey on here to make it taste better.
That's my #1 prepping item is honey, man. There's 100 uses for them, and I'm sure we'll do a video of that one day as well. I'm religious about my honey.
But yeah, I would absolutely recommend these to anybody who's out there and camping, or like I said, even putting in a bug out bag, because your bug out bag is something a lot of people, oh, I'm gonna bug out, I'm gonna have my bag ready. That's fine if all you're taking is your bag. And if it gets that bad where all you're carrying is your bag, something like this would be awesome to have in there.
Yeah, you know, he was talking about stockpiling cans. If we bug in, that's great. If we bug out, I've got a truck. Yeah, I've got a full-ton truck that is a very big tool in our prepping regiment. So if we have to, you know, we run drills. We can load up the truck full of canned goods and water in 10 minutes and hit the road. So, you know, I live just a couple blocks from him, so that's great. So if we need to, we can stack the cans in the back of my truck, and we can live in that truck for, you know, who knows how long. You know, we don't have to worry about carrying a tent or anything like that. It's big enough for me and my wife and him and his wife to live in for quite a bit of time. And if it comes down to the point that we can't take the truck, we're not going to be able to carry all that food. Canned goods are heavy. These things don't weigh anything. So this is really good. Even substituting one meal a day with one of these, you know, you're not going to be hungry, and this is going to give you all the nutrition you need. That's going to save you a can of food a day per person.
Yeah, and like I said, you really just, for something this light and that many calories, you know, this is a meal replacement. It's not for long term, but like we said, short term, or even replacing one meal a day with this if you absolutely had to. And like I said, these are definitely going to go back in my bug out bag.
Well, in the short time we've been talking to y'all, the soup is nice and hot. So I'm going to portion it out, and we're going to enjoy some here. I don't know exactly how long that took. I'll check the timestamp. Put an annotation. Cheers. Oh yeah, that's perfect.
That there, ladies and gentlemen, this is a lunch.
This is a lunch that's not going to get you found by animals, by people you don't want to be found by. This sterno can is absolutely ingenious. And we've never used through an entire one. They're reusable as long as they have the fuel in them. And we've never used all the fuel in one can. So that just gives you an idea of how amazing these things are. You keep 2 or 3 of them, and I'd say if you're just eating canned goods, they'd last you probably a month apiece. You know, just cooking a can of corn or a can of beans one day, you know, 3 times a day, they're going to last for a really long time. And then to cut it off, you just take the lid that it comes with, and you just place it over top of it. I'm going to maneuver it a little bit because it's still lit and it's hot. But the lid doubles as your shutdown mechanism. So you just cover it so it's not getting any air. And you wait a second and the flame's going to die out. You know, an ingenious thing. God bless the person who came up with them, because I'm sure one day they're really going to save mine and Anthony's life.
The nice thing about them, I mean, they're real cheap, they're inexpensive. You can buy them at Walmart in the camping section, and really they're light. I mean, you can't, when you think about starting a fire, you're talking about gathering wood, and you got to make sure that, you know, you got all your tinder and all that. This, all you have to do is have some way to make fire. It don't matter how. You saw we used flint and tinder. It worked, you know, bam.
And this is the Gerber Bear Grylls flint and steel. ferro rod. This is pretty good. This is Anthony's. Mine's not that fancy. I don't need all the bells and whistles. So, but, you know, it's pretty neat. I like that it's pretty and it's bright, and it's got you know, signals on the side of it in case you're ever lost in the woods. You can signal with this. Pretty handy thing. So this has been Brandon with Anthony with Trial and Error Tactical, and thanks for watching. Remember, no one ever learns anything without a little trial and error. You all have a great day.